Let's be real about the Super Bowl. Got to start at 5 here. It's only 4 of us here today. It's your boy, Pete Shark, back here again in a new year with my co-host.
Tab Shakir, man, what it is, what it do.
Yo, good trip, everybody. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
I'm at. Oh, you good, brother? You good, brother? I'm at _Scout Leader. How's everybody doing?
Awesome.
Good.
Awesome. Good.
Feel like I just saw
good. You did.
I got it.
All right, man. It's a new year. No, it's been a while. Going through slight changes. But we're going to be better than ever. Got some big things coming this year. So I'm just kind of go. Yep. I'm just trying to go over the topic list today. Got doing very quick updates about, we've been gone for a while. So do a couple quick updates, mainly college football. Going to NFL, and we'll do a Super Bowl preview, and of course how we got here to the Super Bowl. It's, like I said, it's been a while. I don't think we talked since before the playoffs started. Last time we recorded. So got the NBA. All-Star Stars were just announced with the All-Star game. And we have a lot going on here in our home city with the Memphis Grizzlies. Yeah, as y'all noticed, I don't know if listeners, viewers, we started doing poll questions. We kind of go over the poll results that we have gained from both Facebook and Twitter. I try and do better with Instagram because Instagram goes away, the story. So I figured out how to get those results in also in the future episode. And last but not least, a famous Troll or Nah.
Let's get it.
Start with the updates. So very quickly, you had the College Football National Championship game played earlier this month. Clemson versus Alabama, part 3 in the championship, part 4 in the college football playoff, 4th year in a row. And Clemson handled Alabama 44-16. So very quick, what were y'all just thoughts of the game?
Go Sunshine.
Trevor Lawrence is who he's talking about.
Yeah, I think we all need to let Tuke have his moment because he's the only one.
Hey, no moment. It started as a troll. Shark could call me out too. Everybody else picked Alabama, but I picked Clemson. It is what it is. But I picked Clemson because, like I said, Tua really hadn't had that Heisman moment. He hadn't had that big win this season. And I didn't think that he was going to get that big win in the championship. So that's the ultimate reason why I went with Clemson. But, yeah, shout out to Sunshine. They did their thing.
For me, it was surprising. Not only that Alabama lost, but how many they lost by. Like that was kind of surprising. I think I thought going into the game that, granted, Clemson had a good defensive line, but I thought they weren't going to be able to hold up against Alabama's offensive line, which they typically have a pretty good offensive line every year. So again, that was just going to give Tua time to kind of get back, get in the pocket, take his time, survey the field as he usually does, and find the open receiver. He couldn't do that at all. Like he was scrambling a lot. They were getting into his face, things like that. So, what's the guy, the Clemson's defensive coordinator, like Brent Venables, something like that? The man is good. He's really good. Yeah. Being able to draw up a game plan to make Alabama look human. So not only Alabama losing, but them losing in the fashion that they did was surprising.
Yeah. Just on my end, just with Tua, I think a lot of things that we touched on in previous podcasts about Tua, about him constantly looking to try to make some way out of no way, that was on full-fledged with this game. Again, commends to Clemson's game plan for them on defense, not just for their offense, but just for Alabama in general, just to make them look human, as Lito said. So big ups to Clemson, man. They really they earned it.
Yeah, my thoughts on it. Ironically, Alabama outgained Clemson. So just Alabama got in the red zone, couldn't score, and Nick Saban panicked. And we never seen that from Nick Saban. He went for that fake field goal try, and it was just once he did that, I was like, yeah, Clemson got him.
Was it a big shot? He was trying to get his team going.
Huh?
I would say a panic.
That was panic. Yeah, at that time, at the moment in time, yeah. Because it was obvious they were faking it because their field goal kicker is not good.
Yeah,
and it was like a 4th and 5. I'm like, you might as well just keep your offense out there. I just feel like he pulled what Georgia did against him. Kirby Smart did against him in the SEC championship game. So,
yeah, that's a good point. That surprised me as well too. I don't think I've ever seen Nick Saban like just stressed like that, like him, like y'all said, panic. I've never seen that. I mean, even when you go back to last year's national championship game, like him pulling Jalen Hurts and inserting Tua, like that was surprising. So to see the coaching moves that he made, the fake field goal, like you very rarely see that from him. He's kind of by the book basically, and so to see that happen, I was like, oh wow, that's not good. When you see a team do something like that, that means you got them right where you want them. So that was surprising too.
Yep. So
while we just real quickly, while we we did give Clemson their credit and things to the nation. We talked a little bit most about Alabama. So we give just a big shout out to Justin Ross, who was a problem for Alabama's defense the entire game. I think if I remember his deadline, he had 8 catches, 153, and a few touchdowns.
That was Zach's deadline. That was Zach's deadline.
That combination with him and Trevor Lawrence is definitely going to be a problem. And the fact that Ross is just a true freshman, like the rest of college football needs to be put on notice.
I expect a rematch next year. Similar to last year, Alabama was that team last year. Tua and their wide receiver, Devontae Smith, the one caught the game with touchdown pass. Both of them were freshmen. This year, Trevor Lawrence and Justin Ross. So let's see what they, I expect a rematch next year. But moving on, include, I guess we're talking about a player from this game. Jalen Hurts, he's officially transferring to Oklahoma. Very quick thoughts on it.
Smart move by a smart man. I think that was match made in heaven for me. Because he's going to not only the Big 12, which is what I thought Kelly Bryant should have done, but going to Oklahoma, who you can see the work that Lincoln Riley is doing with quarterbacks. I mean, like Kyler Murray, he had the guy's name is slipping my mind right now. The guy in Cleveland.
Baker Mayfield.
Baker. Yeah. So to see the work that
he plays for the Browns.
You tripping? Come on, bro.
Huh?
No, I'm saying how you forget about Baker out of everybody. You tripping?
Oh yeah. Excuse me, sir. Yeah, exactly. But no, like I said, you see the work that Lincoln Riley has done with those two quarterbacks. So I just think that's a match made in heaven. I think that's a good place for him to go.
I also think the same way as well, and I'm kind of interested to see like what he works on and what kind of system Lincoln Riley is going to devise for him, because he's not terrible, but he's not good either. So I'm interested to see what Lincoln Riley is going to be able to do with him. Like, can he turn him into a serviceable quarterback and just be at least throw the ball down the field? Because that's always been my gripe with Jalen Hurts, even with his time at Alabama. Granted, they were winning games, but Alabama's defense and just everyone else was just so great that he didn't really have to go out and try to win the game. Sure, he can do it with his legs, but can you step in the pocket and make a key throw down the field? Or can you get outside the pocket on a rollout and throw the ball down the field? So I'm interested just to see what Lincoln Riley's going to do, because I'm pretty sure he's going to put him in the best position possible to be successful as a QB. So
I think they have like very, very similar games, to one another. So I think Oklahoma probably going to be right up there in the top 3, top 4 team. I'm definitely excited to see what they do with them.
Yeah,
they like the mobile quarterback who can throw. You know what I'm saying? And I think he's in a perfect situation, like y'all said.
Yeah, I guess we all agree again. That was the team. I know when he was talking about transferring, like that's the first thing came to my mind was Oklahoma, and like it just makes too much sense, especially for him, his style to play. It made sense for Kelly Bryant also, but he decided to go to Missouri. I really thought Kelly Bryant probably should have went to Auburn, but I know Jalen Hurts, that very smart. And I'm happy for him. I hope people can shut up about people saying he was done for not transferring. He graduated in December, so
yeah,
there's a reason he didn't transfer, and you still have another year eligibility. And he was working. Apparently, he was working on his passing game. He's supposedly supposed to have improved as a passer at his last year at Alabama, especially playing behind Tua, because him and Tua were close also. So Tua wasn't just took his spot and wasn't helping him. So
I mean, I think he'll be fine. Tua wasn't gonna win anyway, so you know. So I think Tua's overrated. That's just me, but whatever.
Yeah, I think he'll do fine because you can see, at least in my opinion, you can see that his passing has gotten better. I mean, because he threw some dots in the Georgia game. Mm-hmm. Like he wasn't just like he wasn't just their defense. I mean, they brought him back. It wasn't just like a couple like 5-yard passes here. Like he was throwing some dots in the game. So, like I said, if he just gets a year with Lincoln Riley, I think it'll be scary.
Yeah, I can't say I don't expect him to win a Heisman Trophy, especially with Tua and Trevor Lawrence back. So I think that'll be a 2-horse race. But he would definitely put some numbers up there in Oklahoma. Found Kyler Murray into the NFL draft. He got drafted by the Oakland A's last year and already had a contract signed and was going to be in the minor leagues, but he believes he can play NFL despite his height. I know short quarterbacks are in now, but he's even shorter than the shortest. But he's expected to go in the first round. So what are your thoughts?
I honestly think it could work out for him in the NFL because I don't know if he's shorter than Russell Wilson, but the same thing when Russell Wilson was coming out was said about him, and we see what he's doing now with the Seahawks. And then, of course, with the style of offense that he ran in Oklahoma, especially and the style of offenses that are being ran in the NFL, being with the NFL being a little bit more spread heavy, I could definitely see it working out 100% with Murray. I think at this point, it just depends on where he goes. From what I was looking at a few mock drafts, some teams have him going to Miami, which could possibly work. Yeah. Some people have him going to Washington. I
see him. If he goes to I think I saw one with the Giants at 6. That's perfect for him. I think with Saquon Barkley and Odell with his skill set.
I would think that would be perfect for him, but I think the Giants are probably more set on Dwayne Haskins as opposed to Kyler Murray.
Oh no, I like the fact that he's first of all representing for the short people. Because according to Sharky, he's my height, and I'm like 5'7", something like that.
Bro, it's about 5'7". They got him listed at 5'10", but no, Russell Wilson is 5'11". I know he's not only 1 inch shorter than Russell Wilson.
Yeah, so I like the fact that I saw him going to a mock draft going to the Giants as well, because I think any team that he goes to need to have a good running back, because he will have to drop back 6-7 times in order to see over the defense. But at the same time, if you're giving it off, then it kind of make the defense think about what you're gonna do too. And he been short out his life, if he can get in Heisman conversations and do what he doing at 5'7", what's gonna stop him at the next level. If Isaiah Thomas can put up 30, shout out to Isaiah Thomas too. I know it's different sport. People taking over, bro. We all just need a chance to show what we can do.
Yeah, I think it was a good idea I think it was a good idea just for the simple fact that if it doesn't work in the NFL, you can still go back to the major leagues, right? Yeah. So I think, and I think I heard, I think it was on 92.9 how somebody broke it down, which is like he'll make more money. He'll probably make more money in the NFL short term than he will in baseball, because in baseball, I think you play for 3-4 years if you're good. They finesse some type of way for them to eventually give you like the huge contract, but in the NFL you get that money guaranteed up front. So I thought for that simple fact that was a good idea for him. So if he gets in the right situation, I think most quarterbacks now in the first round are getting 4 years, 40-50 million a year, something like that. Not a year, but over the term of the contract, and that's way more than he was making in the baseball league. So that's why I thought it was a good idea.
Because I am tired of like analysts that like, hey, he making dumb. People just in general, like he making dumb decision. I'm like, not really. I mean, if he wasn't projecting to go in the first round, maybe if he was like a 4th or 5th round projection or something, okay. But I mean, he basically saying I don't want to play in the minor leagues, especially if I can actually possibly be a starting quarterback in the NFL. Be a first round pick at that? No.
Yep, it's a smart move.
Yeah.
So before we move on, we have to say this. It's going to be every single episode. We have a spot in here to say we are powered by the Binge Podcast Network. Shout out to the co-owner, and he's not actually my mentor, but I consider him my mentor, Dominic Lawson, who does own, and we are happy to be here.
Shout out to Dominic.
Yeah, shout out to Dominic. Shout out to Dominic, man. Again, we're powered by the Binge Podcasting Network. Just check them out on Facebook. You can, look at the latest episode from us and many other podcasts, ranging from various topics, sports, entrepreneurship, whatever, man. Just check it out on Facebook, Binge Podcast Network.
Yes, sir. And also shout out to Dominic again. He just won a Mentor of the Year award, so give him a huge shout out, doing the big. But
hey, big things coming, man.
Yep. Next up, it's time. Super Bowl next Sunday. Patriots.
Why you saying like that? I've been told y'all they were going.
Patriots. You said the Jaguars. So no. Patriots.
That was before I changed, though. You know what I'm saying? I said the too.
Dog.
Yeah,
okay, exactly. We definitely go back there.
Exactly. I was wrong on that one, but I was right with the Patriots when I called them out.
You know, whatever.
I don't get no credit.
You ain't done the one said them, so that's why.
You got credit for Clemson. I don't think you gonna get
there. Yeah, you was on the one who said Clemson. You weren't on the one who said Patriots. That's why. But how did we get here? One, shout out to who beat the Eagles. Shout out to the Saints. Even though they got cheated, we go back. We go to that. But shout out to the Saints putting the Eagles out. Savage is supposed to. Savage, sorry, couldn't make this episode, but shout out to the Saints putting the Eagles out. If y'all don't know, Savage, Mr. Savage, one of the co-hosts. Eagles quit on the Eagles in the middle of the season. Decided they got the winning streak. Yeah. We talking, yeah, we good now. Made the playoffs, and none of our teams made the playoffs. So he was back talking. So I tell you, that was a good sight to see. Pleasant sight to see. But how did we get here, y'all?
I go first. What are we going into first?
Go ahead.
Where you want to start it?
I think on the AFC side, I think the way we got here was the dysfunction in Pittsburgh. That's just me being real with you. A team that finishes top 10 in both offense and defense categories and doesn't make the playoffs is just beyond me. A team that has Big Ben Roethlisberger, a team that has Juju Smith-Schuster, a team that has Antonio Brown on offense, you don't find a way to get to the playoffs. In my opinion, that's how the Patriots got to the Super Bowl. But that's just me. On the NFC side, I think the NFC side was really good all year. I kind of had gotten to the point where I just felt like the Rams were just a bunch of hype. But them being able to go into New Orleans and get the game, albeit the pass interference that did get called, they still took it into overtime and made a really nice field goal. That was a really long field goal that they got made. So I think the Saints should have been in the Super Bowl with that call, but it is what it is. I mean, the Saints didn't do all that crime when they got pass interference against us in New Orleans, but that's just me too. So that's how we got here. Shout out to the Rams.
Yeah, shout out to the Rams indeed. I'll just go into the AFC Championship just itself on that side. And it seems like this happens every single year for New England. It's just that one play that obviously goes against them somehow ends up benefiting them, and then they just ends up winning. The clear muff punt by Julian Edelman. The terrible call in the AFC Championship last year against Jacksonville when they recovered the fumble and they should have been able to run it back. And I'll go ahead and mention that one. The Jesse James catch last year as well. Jesse James caught that ball. That was a touchdown anyway. But just beside that, Kansas City did have every chance to win this game, and I think you guys touched on it all season about Kansas City's defense just being terrible, because the Patriots were able just to do practically wherever they wanted on offense. They were able to run the ball effectively. When it came time for them to start throwing it down the field, like Tom Brady just looked for Gronk, and they was able to connect. They was able to connect with Edelman a couple times as well, and that plus, like Skyler says, the dysfunction of the Steelers and the Chargers wetting the bed in New England is how we got here. So,
as a Panthers fan, I should be really, really happy that the Saints didn't make the Super Bowl. But how they lost has kind of gotten to me, and I really feel like the Saints should be in the Super Bowl. If you guys didn't know, I did a little research, and the referee that blew the call, his name is Phil McKinley. Fact number 1, the guy lives in LA. Fact number 2, he actually played for the Rams in 1981. So you can probably understand why there was a no call on that one. So, yeah.
It's just a small world out here.
Small world. Listening, you can look up Phil McKinley, referee. He played for I think the Rams, the St. Louis Rams, in 1981. But I'm disappointed, just like the Saints fans. They should be in. But congrats to LA. With the Patriots, we all knew that. We all knew they were going back to the Super Bowl. Phillip Rivers once started, and essentially a rookie quarterback was not going to beat Belichick and Tom Brady. So that's pretty much how we got here.
Yeah, from my end, NFC side, I know a lot of Rams fans are hollering about face mask penalties they calling the Saints. Which, I mean, in hindsight, affected the game also, because I think one of those face masks, it was on Jared Goff, and the Rams ended up kicking the field goal in their position, and they probably would have scored if they called it for the touchdown. So there's a lot of different calls that went different ways. When it come down to it, yeah, that call was terrible, because it was one that was him in the helmet and pass interference. But the Saints had opportunities to blow the Rams out. And I always say, you got to go and finish the team off. You can't let a team hang around and put the game in the officials' hands. And that's what the Saints did. And their defense still didn't stop the Rams. And Drew Brees threw the interception overtime. And also, the Saints didn't do well with the clock management before they pass interference. They had do the ball on first down. And so they ultimately did get cheated because they could have ran the clock out and ended it. But when it boiled down to it, that game should have been out of hand. So to me, they blew it. Hate to say it. Yeah. And also the AFC side, we knew what the Chiefs' defense was all season. But Pat Mahomes outdoing Tom Brady. Tom Brady really didn't have a good game until that overtime drive. If you look at the numbers and stuff, he didn't have a good game. Yep. And really, that last, what Trevor said, it was another play, because they actually had Judy Edelman, that muff. I think Tom Brady threw an interception the 2 plays later, and it was a drop pass by Judy Edelman that led to the interception. So that was kind of like a karma thing.
But that was called back. That was called back because I think the guy wasn't he lined up outside? He was lined up in the neutral zone, which
that's the play I was thinking about. It was an interception, and dude lined up in the neutral zone, which it was the correct call.
Yeah.
And so that's what the play really got to.
All right, guys. Well, it's about that time. Predictions. Who wins Sunday?
I'm going to be the second biggest Rams fan in the world behind Melvin. I'm hoping and praying that the Rams win this game. I'm really hoping that the Rams win this game, but I know they won't. So I'm going to go with the Patriots.
I just want to throw the fact out that I hate, again, the Saints didn't come to the Super Bowl, because it would have been called the Troll Bowl, with the Saints being in the NFC, and then, of course, what the Patriots did to Atlanta. And I hate the Falcons, so I would have been right on with the Saints. But, of course, like I said, it's the Rams going. I got to go with the Patriots. I got to go with experience every time. I don't think that he's going to let Sean McVay coming out coach him. I refuse to let that. I refuse to believe that that'll be a mindset. And Tom Brady is just gonna be Tom Brady. It's the Super Bowl. So, yeah, and I hate the Patriots too. Shout out to my mama. Yeah, I'm rolling with the Patriots.
It's 100% absolutely. It's tough to pick against the Patriots at this point. Just they've been on the road, just what they did, in the AFC Championship. But with that being said, I'm gonna be bold. I'm going with the Rams.
Hey, way to be me.
Thank you.
If Nick Foles can beat the Patriots, and that Patriots team last year was much better than this one this year, I believe Jared Goff, who is a little bit better, or on the same par as Nick Foles, I would think they can get it. The Rams can get it done. Plus, the Rams, although they did spend a lot of money on defense, it's not 100% better, but it's a little bit better than Kansas City defense. So I'm going Rams, and I'll give a score. I got 33-27 Rams. And I think it goes to overtime thanks to Drake.
You say thanks to Drake?
Yep.
Oh, cool. Okay. That makes sense.
Okay, my prediction is actually I'm trying to look for a Rams jersey to rent for the game, but I'm gonna go with the safe choice and say the Patriots, even though I don't want it to happen. But I believe the Saints would beat them, but oh Lord, I just want Aaron Donald to make one play.
I'm gonna need Aaron Donald to make more than one play. I'm gonna need him to make sure.
I'm gonna need make the big play that way.
Okay.
He'll make the big play. Some telling me he will.
But I will go ahead and pick Mr. Tom Brady and Mr. Bill Belichick to win.
But I think it's also safe for everybody to say that they really want LA to win.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Go LA.
This ain't beat LA. This is go, like you said, go LA.
Go LA. Exactly. Absolutely.
So next up, NBA. We had the All-Star starters were announced this past week, and they go as follows: the Eastern Conference. You know, they won't actually play together, but from the East, 2 guards, Kyrie Irving and Kemba Walker. The forward, Kawhi Leonard, which I realized earlier is spelled out KKK because all their first names start with K.
Extra
interesting.
Wow.
Ironically, that just went in order too. Greek freak Giannis Antetokounmpo, which I can't pronounce his name. Good.
Look at you.
Okay. Yeah, center. The process.
Yeah.
Joel
Embiid. Yes.
Y'all have any discrepancies with that side?
I really don't. But I have a gripe with just how the process of how all the starters are selected now. I'll get into that later when we finish going through the West. But as far as just on how it looks, everybody is deserving. Of course, Kemba Walker has been balling, and given that the All-Star game is in Charlotte, you got to have a hometown guy to represent. So I don't see any gripes with it, but it's cool with me.
Yeah, I mean, nothing just pops off the screen, really.
Yeah.
I think if you had to put together an all-star team for the East and West before the season starts, I think the list that you come out before the season looks just like this. Looks like the roster that you just mentioned. So nothing surprising on my end, at least.
Yeah, everything looked good to me. I get into D-Wade later on because I'm kind of with Trevor in a way, but for different reasons. But I would love to see D-Wade start his last All-Star game. Y'all know that's the bandwagon I've been on. But
I'm actually with you on that one. Like I said, I'll get into the process after we finish going through the West and everything.
For sure.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all cool and all, but D-Wade himself would even say, I'm not having an all-star type of season. I don't care if it's my last year. Even him, he doesn't want like a...
we could talk about it now, but why is the All-Star game relevant? 1 is to recognize the best players in the league, but 2 is to give the fans a great experience. And what's a better experience sending off one of the, the NBA's best stars? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You know, D Wade has actually influenced this generation's game, and he deserves to be recognized.
Second.
You wouldn't not put Michael Jordan in his last All-Star game against the Wizards, right?
I mean, I didn't care for that either, so I mean,
but a lot of people do. You know what I'm saying?
It's like if that's the case, then Dirk Nowitzki should start in the West End. If that's the case, to be honest.
I mean, if they want to do it like that, he having a send off too. You know what I'm saying? Have like an asterisk by the name or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Just
put this way.
I agree. Weekend, you know what I'm saying?
Put this way, I agree. I agree with your point. If they add, they shouldn't take somebody else's spot. Is what I'm saying, basically. So they should, like you said, put an asterisk, add another spot for that. Basically, that's why. I think that's one of my feelings on that one. Yeah, because there are players who like literally deserve it and they miss out on the All-Star opportunity because of that. It's kind of like that's split fist up. But I understand your point with the what the fans want. Yeah. But the players, the All-Star game is for those players to get recognized for that goes part of their achievements and their legacies also.
Yeah.
But
for the East Side, I had no problems with it. Like you said, Kimball, the All-Star game is in Charlotte, so Kimball
I didn't have a problem. I didn't have a problem with the stars. I was just saying I would just like
the process,
to see, D-Wade and the process of how it's really done.
I understand because he won't be voting on as a reserve. So no, I understand your point.
Yeah.
So that's how I had no problem with it. The West Side. So you had Steph and Harden in the backcourt, LeBron, KD, and Paul George in the front court. So y'all have any problems with the West Side?
Nope.
Shout out to Paul George.
I'm kind of twisted between the Paul George and why not Anthony Davis?
Anthony Davis, that's probably the only one that you.
Yeah, I understand Paul George is having a great season. He was going to be selected as a starter for sure, but over AD, come on, y'all. And it's obvious that Laker fans really didn't mess with AD. This could have been a perfect time for y'all. LA fans, what's up? Y'all had a chance to give love, and y'all ain't show some love. This strike number one. Y'all know y'all need. This is the only player in the world that'll help LeBron win the championship.
I'll say this. Granted, the LA fans should have done better in voting for Anthony Davis, but Paul George has played more like an MVP this year than Anthony Davis is right now for the Pelicans. Just me. Like, I understand what Anthony Davis does, and he's really, really good. I've watched a lot of Anthony Davis in New Orleans Pelican games since the rumors. But what Paul George is doing in Oklahoma City, I mean, I just watched the game that they just finished with the Bucks, and he literally just took over that game. Yeah. So I definitely see where you're coming from, but I definitely think that Paul George is deserving of the starting spot.
Yeah,
I feel.
And I think another thing we're leaving out with Anthony Davis is, like, despite the numbers and what he's been doing this season, he has been in and out the lineup. So that's one of the things that I think the fans and everyone else took into consideration when it came time to vote. Because I know it came down between him and Paul George, and Paul George has been playing like an MVP, and I've been practically saying that since November.
Yeah, you have, and I commend you.
I've been saying it since November, and I'm okay that he's a starter, but I probably would have been like too upset if he wasn't. So it was well deserved. I think, of course, AD does get in as a reserve regardless, because you can't. Despite him being in and out of the lineup with his injuries, you can't ignore what he's doing for the Pelicans. So, I don't have a problem with the West lineups, with the West starters either. So, hey.
Who y'all think the first pick gonna be?
Let me see. Giannis had.
You think about it?
Yep.
Before you pick the best player in the league.
Yeah, who gets first pick? Is it Giannis or is it LeBron?
I think Giannis does. He had the most votes.
Okay. Gotcha. I still think LeBron's going to choose Kyrie first. That's going to be pretty funny.
Yeah.
Who he chooses first is going to be pretty interesting.
Yeah. Everybody talking about how they want Kyrie and LeBron to combine back in LA to sound like some idiots.
I'm not going to say anything about that.
Wait, you actually disagree?
It's possible.
I'm not going to say anything about it.
Wow. Okay.
That's all I'm going to say.
I'm going to say it's possible.
Let's say that for
I'm gonna say it's possible. So hey, but
yeah, true.
But just real quickly though, I do want to go in on the process on how the starters are chosen. So this recently just came about 2 years ago, where, of course, in the past, it usually the fans determine who started like 100%. Now that's been broken up into 3 ways, with fans get half, and then 25% each go to players and the media. So how they do it is based on who has the most media votes, who has the most fan votes, and who has the most player votes. So if you look at the final in the old format, if you look at the final numbers of fan votes, Kemba Walker wouldn't be starting, Dwayne Wade would be starting, and James Harden wouldn't be starting. Actually, James Harden would be starting because that spot would have been for Derrick Rose, and Paul George wouldn't be starting, and they actually had Luka Doncic at that spot. So my thing is, if the whole thing with the fans thing was a problem, like, we have to look at this whole thing with the players too, because like the guys that had these most votes, they actually had like pretty decent seasons. Now, does it warrant an all-star spot? Maybe not a starter, probably a reserve, but I'm just looking at it from that standpoint. If you're gonna get rid of the fans' involvement in it, then get rid of it, or just, keep it media and players, or just keep it straight fans. Because I'll even bring this up because this was funny. Did you guys know that Melo got 7 votes from players for all-star stuff?
No, I didn't know that.
Yes.
Melo
receives 7. Melo received 7 votes from players to be an all-star starter this year, which was mind-boggling. Which was one of the bases that drove my whole point, because just like the fans are going to pick the most popular players, the players are just going to pick, not only the most popular, but those that they're cool with, or they know that's actually putting up some decent numbers. So,
do you have any recommendations that the NBA could do?
I like the old format as far as letting the fans vote, like who will be the quote unquote starters, and then just having those with the most votes just pick. And then keeping the reserve thing the same, with letting the coaches pick. And I think they have a rule where a coach can't pick his own players, which is I think is great as well. I just think just keep the old format. If you want to keep fans involved, let the fans vote, and then whoever has the most votes, just let the two with the highest from each conference, just let them pick.
Here's what I like to suggest. Hopefully somebody from the NBA will listen to this one day. I would suggest the media's 25%. That's bull crap. Most of the media that was in that room probably don't know a thing about being on the court. So why do y'all have a say so in something that's been historic since the 70s? No. So I say it should be 50% fan vote, 50% players vote. But the reason that Melo was able to get those 7 votes is because the NBA allows the All-Star ballot to be fully formatted for the entire duration of the fan vote. So what I would suggest is to, each week cut it by, a certain amount until we have 20, 30s, for sure from the Eastern Conference and the Western Conference. And from those 30 players, whoever get the most votes, tallied up between the players and the fans, are the all-star starters. Like, this is purely a game for the fans. Screw what the media got to say. They're gonna talk about whatever's voted on anyway.
Yeah.
What y'all think about that?
I love that one right there. I love that one because
that's a good compromise. Just to meet in the middle.
Yeah. Look at the season James Harden had. Yep. You telling me he wasn't gonna start? Nah. No. So you gotta split it up some way, but I understand that meeting. Well, exactly what Tuke said. That was perfect to me. You did 100% fan, but it's like, you can't.
Yeah, no, that's something I kind of thought about, kind of earlier this week. Is like how could the best solution to pick the All-Star game, be found. And it's like that. Like the media should have no say so on who's an all-star. We can talk about our opinion, but you know, you say it's probably 100 people in that room. So this 100 people is more credible than, you know, everybody else. Nah.
Yeah.
And then us four. Nah. And, you know, whatever. Off topic, we can talk about this later, but I think we got to start doing something and holding people accountable. Because if I'm watching the NBA Finals and I got $1,000 and I want to bet it on a team, I'm picking whoever Stephen A. doesn't pick. Everybody knows that.
Yeah, that's facts. Whoever Stephen A. picked, go the opposite
way. There's been like a fact for like the last, like, I don't know, 6-7 years, something like that.
6-7 years. It's been a while.
It's probably why my Steelers ain't doing well, huh?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Because he's still a Steelers.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Move on to these low down and dirty Grizzlies.
Man.
Low down and dirty Grizzlies. That's a hell of an adjective.
What do? I don't even know where to start from with this dumpster fire that's been going on with the Grizzlies the last couple of months. So we know what should be next. But
yeah, we know what should be going on. Hashtag fire Chris Wallace.
Yes, sir. It's time to bring that hashtag back.
Start from the top. Now start from the bottom. We got to start from the top.
Yeah.
Fire from the top on down. And I mean him, Don Hollinger, Jimmy Bickerstaff, Trey Mike, Trey Mark. Let's go. But we got to start at the top. We can't start from the bottom, which is what they're trying to do. Which don't make any sense.
I'm willing to go out on a limb. I know you can't technically fire him. I'm willing to go out on a limb and say hashtag fire Robert Perry as well. Because I'm sticking with my conspiracy that he is secretly trying to get the Grizzlies moved to Seattle. Like that's my guns. I'm sticking with it.
Well, let me ask you this: for one, who can fire an owner, and for two,
I know he stated he couldn't fire him.
Okay.
Yeah, I just stated that you couldn't fire him, but it's
you
like,
just want to.
It's because I honestly I did some research on because a lot of people had started revisiting the relocation thing, and then everybody just kind of did it. I was like, well, the Grizzlies are under the lease with the FedEx Forum to 2029, so I was able to do research. So part of that contract, part of the lease agreement was, of course, they couldn't move or they couldn't do anything within the first 15 years. So that actually expires at the end of next season. So if there's a provision in the contract to where if attendance falls below 15,000 or if the club seats fall below 2,500, then there's a window that can open for potentially to break the lease and possibly look to move the team.
Wow.
In order to do so, Robert Perra would have to pay the city $57 million to break the lease, and the city basically will have 3.5 months to decide if they want to approve the sale or not. So the city can basically just dead the whole deal and say, well, we're not going to allow you to buy it out. We'll just sell it to somebody else, which they can do because that's another clause that they have. So don't rule out completely of a relocation, but right now, as of today, the city got all the leverage. So even if Robert Perra wanted to move the team, the city could just, if they could find a buyer, they can just position someone else to buy the team off them and keep it in Memphis. But some's telling me at some point, if attendance really does start dropping, that it's going to become too much of an expense for these local government officials to keep buying tickets just so they can keep the team in Memphis. So
Fred Smith will buy it.
That's my whole group. Fred will probably buy it.
Fred Smith, I think will buy it.
Yeah, that's
I think will buy it.
It's like I said, it's not as open and shut is not gonna happen. Like it's possible, but the city got all the leverage based on that lease. So At least for all I can say is, if all of Memphis is listening, I know we suck right now. If you want to keep this team here in Memphis, keep going to the games. I know we got a nice young guy in Jaren Jackson. We're going to try to build around him. Just keep going to the games if you want to keep this team in the city for as long as possible. That's all I can say.
Encouraging people.
Keep going to the games.
With the general manager has a name by the name of Chris Wallace.
Like, thank you for keeping that, Chris.
Thank you.
It's like keep on going to see some slowness on purpose. A sloppy product just because we can put it out there. Robert Perry ain't been to the game in I don't know how long, bro. He don't care about the team, but I'm pretty sure once he get up under him, he gonna act like he the biggest fan. That's number one, bro. Number two, Chris Wallace is a terrible general manager. Terrible.
Again, thank you for keeping that, Chris. If y'all don't know what I'm talking about, he talked earlier off the camera. He was going to call him Christopher Wallace, and we tried to search and see what's his his true name. we couldn't find it anywhere, so I was like, "Keep it Chris, man."
If I call somebody nickname, no, I ain't give you no nickname right now, but apparently, I guess his name is Chris, so we're gonna roll with that.
We don't know. I mean, we don't know. I know someone who nicknames Chris, and his name is not Christopher. So,
yeah. I echo with what everybody's been saying. It needs to be fired Chris Wallace, and it needs to be fired Chris Wallace today.
Yeah.
Not yesterday.
12 years ago.
The two biggest things, which I think, the two biggest things that I think he's done, which is a fireable offense. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you are anybody except Jerry West. But the signing of Chandler Parsons and then the trading of the first round pick for Jeff Green. Those two things have backfired, and they've not been able to recover from that at all. And like I said, I don't care who you are except Jerry West. That is a fireable offense for me. At any cost. Like those are two really bad moves. I mean, he I guess helped design the roster for the Great Grind, but I mean that was years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like this 2019, like right now we only averaging 20 wins a season type thing, and really this season is going much worse than last year. And last year they were trying to tank. So this year it needs to be fired Chris Wallace. It needs to be fired him yesterday. What I would do now is I would try to see what you can get for Chandler Parsons, because I don't think the Grizzlies aren't that bad. I think they can win with Marc Gasol. But I think you have two veteran guys who are tired of losing, and they're tired of seeing the stupid moves that Chris Wallace is making. I think if they can get somebody in here that can do anything more than Chandler Parsons is doing, which is not hard at all, you get a wing player. Exactly. Yeah. You get a wing player that can at least get you 10, 15 a game, which 10 to 15 a game, I mean, it's not that hard in these times of the NBA. I think that's what they need. They struggle scoring the basketball. Like I think at one point they had only scored 100 points in like 9. I think I counted. It was like 9 of 22 games, which is terrible. That's especially today. Yeah, exactly. Like who isn't averaging 100 points in the league? Like that's crazy. They need a wing scorer. That's been their issue since really. I guess you can say Rudy Gay. Yeah. And how long has Rudy Gay been off the roster?
Barely him.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So that's what I would do. I would try to find some way to come off that contract for Chandler Parsons. Try to see if you can get you another draft pick or something like something like that. And just try to get somebody in return and see what you can do. But I think you can win with Mark and Mike. They just want to know that the front office is behind them.
Yeah. We've got to that point where they've won too many games to truly tank. Because this draft is supposedly a weak draft, especially after you got Zion, RJ Barry, who's that? Ja Morant from Murray State.
Guy from Murray State,
yeah, and then like Cam Reddish, but we haven't seen too much out of him to see he's gonna be great. So it's like after the top 3. Maybe even just 2. After that, you like, especially with the Grizzlies, exactly. Somebody like that's going to impact right now, a development person.
Exactly.
What hurts them is even they're so far ahead. They won already too many games because you got teams truly tanking. Like Cleveland, I don't think they got 10 wins yet. You got Chicago. You and Grizzlies already got 20. So
that's true.
Stay at the top 8. Go and get Boston this pick. And I've heard some trade scenarios that what Skyler just said could possibly make this happen. Chandler Parsons to Atlanta, we take back Kent Bazemore. Kent Bazemore is that guy that's going to give you 10 to 15 points with a pretty big contract, but he's actually going to play and produce.
Yeah.
Give you something with that contract. And I heard a trade Tim Hardaway Jr., where we might actually get a pick back with Tim Hardaway Jr. because that's how bad they want to get rid of him. And he can get 20. No, this ain't for Chandler. This is for Jermichael Green and Garrett Temple.
Okay. Well, of course, Garrett Temple's out because
he just got hurt, so he needs to get back very, very soon. But there are also two trades that what Scott just said that would put you back on at least get Boston that pick and give you give us at least something a little exciting to watch.
Okay.
Yeah. So because the team. My bad. Go ahead, Joe.
Okay, I'll let you get to your point because basically what I was going to get to was, okay, if by some chance that, because we know that Mark and Mike are available for, in trade offers or whatever. So let's just say they decide to just go ahead and just move forward with that as far as trading Mike and Mark. Where would you think who would be a nice suitor for them, basically? Not just for... Well, go ahead.
I have no idea where Mark, honestly, because today's game and his contract. So it's like if a team won't, not so much long-term center, but someone that's going to be there long past the rest of the season, he has a player option to opt out and become a free agent. But then you got teams who may want the cap space, but once again, he has a player option. He can also opt in because it's $25 million and he's not getting it.
I got a team.
His age. Who?
Miami.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Whiteside.
Yeah, it had to be Mark. It had to be Mark for Whiteside straight up. And I think
that's cool.
I
would because in order for Jaren Jackson to reach his full potential, you're gonna have a big man to play aside on to help clean up. You know what I'm saying? KG had to play power forward for a reason.
But once again, the game has changed, and Whiteside is not the reason Miami don't want him right now because he's not a fit for today's game.
I'm gonna say I don't think for me Miami wouldn't do. I don't see why Miami would do that because I think they really believe in Bam. Bam at Bayou's doing really really well. Like I think if they could give him more minutes, if they could give him a better contract, they would. But Hassan's Whiteside there. He's taking up all that. I would see no reason Miami would do that.
I see them doing it, but once again, if Marcus they would do it if they knew he was going to opt out. I think.
I'm pretty sure you will opt out. D-Wade ain't going to be there next year anyway.
Yeah, that's fine. But like I said, you don't know because it's $25 million and he's not getting it.
Right.
So it's literally like, hey, that's I'm not getting that money no more. Like, because he's like 34.
It's going to be a Melo situation all over again. So wherever he goes, if he does have a pretty decent season, of course he's not going to be worth that $25 million, but he'd be stupid not to opt in his contract if he wants to stay wherever he goes, if he's traded. So I've possibly two options that I looked at possibly for Mark, and they're both out west. One is San Antonio.
Yeah,
I think you can do Mark for Powell, and then somehow, do Mark for Powell, and then somehow, because that means San Antonio would need an additional $8 million just to match Mark's salary. So just you can throw another player or something in there to make the salaries match or whatever. That's one.
I could see Mike going there before I could see Mark going there.
Yeah, especially for Pau Gasol. Can we be straight up?
Yeah, I don't want to.
This is why we practice like that. If he brings Pau Gasol back to this city, do you know how many people do not like Pau Gasol? Come on, man. Fire Chris Waller, because if he did something like that, trust me. But nobody likes that. We went from Z-Bar and Marc Gasol back to Pau Gasol, bro.
That's true.
I sure was like, they better not. I've seen that trade scenario.
Yeah, I have too, and that's why I hated it.
Yeah.
I can see why, but nah.
my second team that's possible is the Dallas Mavericks. I saw a trade. I saw a trade scenario actually for both Mark and Mike at the same time, which will kind of put them back in as far as like that French playoff area where they could, get back to making the playoffs consistently. I think the deal was Mark and Mike for Dennis Smith Jr., Harrison Barnes, DeAndre Jordan, a first rounder in 2021, and then you get the draft rights to Giannis's brother, Kostas and
Right.
Take that
trade last week.
Yeah.
Man.
Because Harrison Barnes, even though he had the brick fest in their finals, he can put them out there asking for that wing position. Dennis Smith Jr. is a young electric point guard for the future to go along with Triple J. You get a draft pick back, and you get DeAndre Jordan for the rest of the season, and his contract comes off the books this summer.
Yep, and then you get Harrison Barnes for the rest of the season. I think his contract could be up towards the end. And then for Dallas, you get rid of everybody who basically can't play with Luka Doncic.
Mm-hmm. And get players in there who can play with him.
Yeah. And Mark and Mike would actually be a perfect compliment for him. So.
Yep. That's why we want the Grizzlies to draft Luka Doncic, because we knew that would have been a perfect pairing.
Yep.
I love that one. Right, that's what's next right there. Chris Wallace. You might possibly save your job if you do something like that.
No.
That is the type of deal that can save your job.
No, it would actually will. He keeps saving his job out year after year, so they always want to keep him.
Yeah,
we still wouldn't want him. We still wouldn't want him. Wait, let's just be real.
Yeah, we all still want him gone. Yeah, that's one of them jumps was like, all right, you did what you did there, so we still want you gone. But
we know they're gonna keep him. Yeah.
Can I be straight up?
What's up?
With the history of our general manager and me knowing the idiotic,
we know that ain't happening.
We know that's not happening.
Like,
we just said this is what I take him. What's next?
I don't think he's gonna do anything. I would think that Mike Conley and Marc Gasol are gonna be at the end of the roster at the end of the season, unless we release them, just cause.
No, they ain't releasing them.
Not really.
You never know, man. Chris Wallace, he done some amazing things.
Mm-hmm.
So what? He's gonna buy out Mark and then use the stretch provision on Mike Conley?
I don't know what he. I don't.
No. Here's the thing with Mike Conley's contract, which also makes it difficult to move. One clause in his contract saying if he plays at least 55 games this season or next season, his the last year of his deal is guaranteed, and that's $34 million that he'll be making
for next game.
That he'll be making in I think that'll be 2021. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And there's King.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like I said, he's still gonna be on the Grizzlies team next season, so it is what it is.
Yeah.
Both of them. Chris Wallace ain't trading nobody.
Hopefully, at the end of the season, they come to their lesson and fire Chris Wallace. But if they don't, then we know for a fact what Trevor said earlier is what they're trying to do.
I would like to give Chris Wallace some credit, though. He actually, or the Grizz team finally acknowledged that they actually have talent within Jaren Jackson, and they're finally starting to develop him. With seeing a picture with him and KG, they gave him to the world that finally they're able to develop talent.
Well, for one, with the player Jaren Jackson, it's showing that Memphis finally got it right in terms of who to draft. So, although all of us were still on the mindset of drafting Luka Doncic, Jaren Jackson Jaren Jackson has been good. Yeah, I like him. So,
before we move on, speaking of the draft, y'all know I got to play a little game with y'all. Who's the one all-star that Chris Wallace has managed to draft since he's been with the Grizzlies since 2007?
I have no clue. X.
The one all-star?
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure he wasn't with the Grizzlies when he became an all-star.
You said 2007?
He's been with the Grizzlies since 2007.
I know.
Only one player's been an all-star.
He wasn't with the Grizzlies, right?
Yeah, he was not with the Grizzlies.
Kevin Love.
Yep.
Kevin Love, yep, absolutely.
So that should say something about the Grizz drafting history. Just wanted to throw that out there to the people.
Let's see with the research.
Well, I mean, we got to be consistent, bro. Consistency is key.
Yeah, because you got to remember.
You said this, guy.
They drafted Kevin Love, and they swapped with Minnesota.
Yeah, for OJ Mayo.
OJ Mayo. Who's never an all-star.
Which at the time, really, OJ Mayo he started off on a good note, then went down here.
He averaged 18.
Yeah, his first 2 years, he did really good.
Yeah, I thought he was going to be a star,
but we didn't know how to develop him, just like we didn't know how to develop him.
Yeah, they messed him up, and I think personal stuff with him also.
Yeah.
Rock him down. So, I hope OJ Mayo straight now. I know he was overseas. He got kicked out the league.
Yeah.
I hope he's doing better, man. But let's go to the poll results. We had a couple questions this week. First question was about Melo. From Mr. Cool Breeze, Mr. Troll himself. He's not on the show today, but asked him. Cool Breeze. He said, "Would Melo have a comeback similar to what D Rose is doing this season?" On Twitter, 75% was a no.
Thank you.
25% yes. And on Facebook, we had 8. Facebook didn't do by percentages. He did by just total votes. Yes was 18 and no was 10. So that was a little closer.
So
let me take the bet. No was 18. Yes was 10. That's what I mean.
I was one of the people that actually said yes because, like I said, I've been a Melo fan since Syracuse, and I would love for him to have the bounce back that I know that he can have. When he was with OKC, he kind of slowed out, and Russ did hold the ball. He was being Russ, and then he came to Houston up under D'Antoni. We knew how that was going to go. Like, come on, D'Antoni's not going to put you in a position. And whatever assistant coach was with him that knew him in Denver, that didn't like him, they set him up to fail there essentially. So I want him to get to a good team. And
I wouldn't say Denver set him up. I wouldn't say Denver set him up. I think Melo kind of played a part in that because everyone knows the Redeem team because that's what eventually led to the Big Three in Miami being formed.
Mm-hmm.
So that year, I think in 2010, basically the four of them, LeBron, Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, Melo, they were always supposed to opt out of their deals. I think they was coming towards the end of their deals that year. But as opposed to the other three, Melo actually opted in his deal and got a nice little deal with Denver to stay.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, everything, went downhill. He forced his way to the Knicks. So I wouldn't necessarily say Denver. Denver probably played a role, but Melo is just as responsible for that happening.
I feel you on that too.
Yeah,
it's kind of just emotional. Like I said, I've been a Melo fan for the longest.
Yeah, I'm with you as well. As far as with the poll, because I also said yes. I just think with the right system, where he can actually be himself. Unfortunately, that's coming off the bench, which I was all for at one point last year with the Thunder, because I'm like, hey, we need to start Jeremy Grant because he's a better defender. Like, Melo can come in and he can just be himself, and he can get his against a second unit. Like, he's good. He's good for 10 to 15, maybe even 20 against the second unit. So I honestly think that with the right system, with the right team, at this point, it looks like it's going to be the Lakers. He can thrive. Is he going to be the Melo of old from Denver or even New York? Of course not.
Of course not.
But if you put him in a nice little 6-man or second unit role where he could just be himself, and then the last 2 minutes of the game, the Lakers are going to need somebody to throw the ball to and say, hey, go give me a bucket.
Yeah, because LeBron's going to do it.
Yeah, because LeBron's not going to do it. So that's what
he's going to pass.
Yeah, he's going to make the best play. He's not going to just try to attack every single time. And he throws the ball to Melo. Melo already knows, okay, I'm going to look and I'm going to go score. So,
and that's y'all king.
I'll say this. Oh, go ahead.
You go.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I'll say this. like to hear us. I don't like to hear people say that like Melo has to be in the right system. Melo has to do this. I mean, like, why does the team have to adjust to him? Why can't he adjust like everybody else is having to do?
No,
that's my issue with.
Well, what I was saying as far as like he has to be in the right system, it's still an adjustment for him, but he needs to go somewhere where he needs to realize, like, okay, I'm not a stand still, go stand in the corner type shooter. I'm a guy that needs to have the ball in my hands. I need to, of course, with his play style, he's going to have to come off the bench somewhere. So a team that can probably use some scoring off the bench, LA, which is
really not my Lakers, really not my Lakers. We don't just really have an issue with scoring off the bench, really.
Y'all just got an issue with scoring, period.
No, we just have an issue with making threes. I think that's our issue.
Yeah.
I mean, we're like top 10 in scoring.
Yeah, but y'all
okay.
They don't have.
Get back to Melo. Let's get back to Melo.
They don't have an issue, but Melo could actually. They don't have a complete issue, but add Melo to the team could actually, boost them up a little more. I mean, that's what I'm saying as far as for him to be in the right system. It's not teams fully having to adjust to him, because that's what happened with us last year when we was trying to adjust to him as a starter, when clearly he should have been like past the All-Star break, he should have been coming off the bench. Is this just no question about that? And then in the playoff series, when we got our second win in Game 5, at that point we should have realized that at that point it was too late. So that's what that's my whole deal for him to be in the right system. Just it's still an adjustment for him. I don't think teams have to do anything. It's just more so our team's gonna take that chance and just let him be part of a second unit and let him be him. So
nope. I think LA will, sadly enough. I think what's going to happen is I think we'll make a trade before the trade deadline. It'll cost us somebody like Michael Beasley or Lance Stevenson or even maybe KCP. That'll open up a roster spot. Yeah. And then that's how Carmelo, I guess, will be a Laker. I'm not too excited about it, but I think it's going to happen. But even though for some odd reason he was at a Knicks game earlier today, just throw that in there.
Yeah, he did get
a round of applause.
He did get a standard though in New York.
Well, my answer to the question, can you have best bet similar to D-Rose is no. One is based on age. D-Rose is 30. At his comeback trail, and he also had someone to believe in him, Tom Thibodeau, his former coach. Hope he continues it now that Tom Thibodeau's fired. But then you got Melo, 34, getting up there in age, and I just believe Melo. D-Rose was coming back. It was injuries. That's his bounce back. Melo is more. It's really old age. He's not the same player. New league, and he's still stuck in the mindset of wanting to be a starter and stuff.
He's an all-star. Yep.
All-star, similar to his former teammate Allen Iverson and how his career ended. So I kind of see. I told Tuka, I told Ashton out there, I know we had a conversation. I believe his career will end similar to AI's. Do I want to see that? No. I mean, I love Melo's player, but that's how I see it happening based on his past year, 2 years.
Yeah. Hey, Melo, if it don't work out, you got the big three. So, hey.
Yep.
We're putting in work at the big three.
Yep. Virgo average 40 in the big three.
Right. Easy. And the guy ain't go to 50.
I know, right?
He's perfect haircut for that too. So, for this,
supposed to actually be common to play in the big three this year, which is pretty cool.
So for the next question, we had the Sky to present this question. Who were over the past 5 years? What sports viewers? What sport gained the most viewers? Younger viewers over the past 5 years between the NBA and the NFL. On Twitter, NBA got 92%, and Facebook, like I said, votes are, like I said, not tallied by percentage, but 18 for the NBA and 1 for the NFL. So I think that was a pretty obvious choice. I think Skyler, I think you told me you was like you just trying to see who gonna pick the NFL.
Yeah, I really was. Yeah, that's really all I was trying to do, because I think we talked about in our group meet that we were talking about which sport, of course, most people watch or whatever, and that's what just made me think. I'm like, okay, well, I want to know the percentages of like younger viewers that's looked into the league, and I think it was for the NBA, but one thing that people didn't mention was I think the NBA being able to cater to the younger generation, basically. I think they're being able to do that. Them being able to get people that we relate to and listen to into the All-Star games, like the Migos and stuff like that. Getting those people to perform in the All-Star games, that's what attracts the younger viewer. I think that's the reason the NBA has gained more younger viewers than NFL.
And I also touched on it as well in the group me, and I kind of went a little deeper, and I kind of just gave credit to the emergence of Steph.
Yeah.
Of course, if everyone knows the story of Steph, he wasn't that great of a high school recruit coming out. Of course, he ended up going to Davidson, where he, just basically balled out. And then you see where he is today. Of course, he's not the most athletic. He's not towering over everybody at 6'8" plus, but he got to where he's been. He's a 3-time champion and an MVP just for sure sake of working on his skills, mastering the fundamentals and things of that nature. And that resonates with a lot of young viewers. It shows them like, hey, I may not be 6'8" or 6'8" like LeBron or 6'10" like KD, but if I can just work on the basics, I can be a Steph Curry or I can be a Kyrie or something like that. I think the emergence of Steph, as well as the league becoming more point guard centric, is what is gaining most of the young viewers as opposed to the NFL. So that was my take.
Good point.
I also think that we have to give a good job to Adam Silver for allowing the players to actually be themselves. Kids are able to see LeBron James in movies and, different TV shows, but, they can also switch to the news and see how he's getting, disrespected, by the news people. And I think that resonates with the younger viewers because they're able to see like, dang, he can play ball and, represent for him and his family as for his people. You know what I'm saying? So, if you do that in the NFL, you're going to be without a job.
Mm-hmm.
You do that in the NBA and it's like you're kind of, I don't want to say gaining celebrity, but you're using your platform. And I think a lot of younger people, period, want to start using their platform, to say how they feel. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
That's social media, period.
That's a great points made by all y'all. I agree with all of it. I think my main point was, I picked back off of what Trevor said. Those were my exact sentiments with Steph, the emergence of him. But what what you just brought up was really good.
Really good, yeah.
NFL, you either gonna be without a job or you're gonna be drug tested every week.
1,000.
That's true.
Hey, but Trevor, you hit it on the head too, because with the rise of social media, with people still coming to Twitter, LeBron James, he was doing his thing before Twitter, but Twitter needed that one NBA star to make people go.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see what he did? And that guy was Steph Curry.
And a star where you can actually relate to, where LeBron is 6'9", athletic. You're not. Everybody's not gonna be there, but still for him to be, he's pretty tall. He's 6'3", but for him to be, he was small, skinny, slim guy.
Everybody pulling up from half court now.
You can you can shoot. Work on your shooting. Shooting is that essential to the game now. So
and it's not. It's not just. Of course, it's not just him by himself. It's just. He's just at the forefront of it because, like I said, Kyrie can be mentioned in there as well. Yeah. Hell, for a good 2.5, maybe 3 years, like IT was probably one of the best players in the league, and you see how strong he is. So, I mean,
he's the baby face assassin, man. You got, the beautiful wife, you got baby Riley, you know what I'm saying, who came on the scene and stole everybody's heart. You know what I'm saying? He's the perfect guy. No homo,
Yeah,
you got what everybody want, and then like I said, you can shoot the hell out of a basketball.
Yeah, I also think all this drama that's going on too, like the stuff that was going on with Jimmy Butler, the Memphis trade that was the all this stuff happening on Twitter. Yeah, there's been a lot of stuff like, dang, you gotta keep up with going on.
The trolling by Jimmy Butler and Joel Embiid.
Exactly. Exactly.
So we got one more that we did right last night. This one we probably ain't going to discuss. About Memphis people. Memphians. Kansas and Kentucky played against each other last night. Kentucky won, unfortunately. Well, I mean, we really wanted both teams to lose. You want to be honest.
Right, exactly.
But you put out a poll. Who would you rather lose as a Memphian? Who would you rather lose that game? Since we had a big on the one to lose, and Kentucky won by a long shot, 85% on Twitter, and 11-4 votes on Facebook. So just wanted to mention it. I think all of us choose Kentucky.
Yeah. The hate for Coach Cal still exists, man.
I just think me and Trevor probably Kentucky for more real Tennessee fans. So Kentucky is our rival. So we hate Kentucky long before Cal came. So Kentucky was our answer before you included Memphis.
I was there when Billy Gillespie was coaching Kentucky in that fateful game at Thompson Boarding when Jody Meeks went off for 54. So.
Bro, don't remember. You was at the game?
I was in the student section at that game. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Dang, you brought some memories, bro. Troll or not? Let's go. Bro, good thing I asked you on this episode. That boy loved him some Jody Meeks, man. Golly. Okay, man. It's time for troll or nah. Who going?
Anybody wants to go first? Anybody got one?
I don't have one.
I can go first because I literally just thought of mine. Trolling on this may just sound like me being a huge fan and me just being just really excited off this win that Memphis just got. But I think when it's all said and done, when the smoke clears, there should be a statue of Penny Hardaway in front of the FedEx Forum whenever he retires from the University of Memphis. I just think when just the hype, what he's doing now with his team, I'm really referring to the UCF game. Them playing UCF today and just manhandling them, like beating them by 20. What he's doing with this roster, given the time frame that he has, is nothing short of amazing. We all went to the game today, and that's the most Tiger fans that I've seen at a game in a very long time. So, like I said, what he's doing with this roster now, what he could potentially do next season, what he could potentially do the season after that, and I just think it's going to continue to carry. I think at some point Memphis will be reemerged as a blue blood in college basketball. I think they'll get up there with the Dukes. I think they'll get up there with the Kansas and Kentuckys. When it's all said and done, Penny Hardaway will have a statue in front of the FedEx Forum, trolling all.
I'm actually with you, and I'll go as deep as say this. No, I'll go as deep as say this. If the year Memphis wins a championship, we know the national championship game is played in April. They need to break ground on the statue by June.
That means they need already working on
it. Yeah. That's funny.
That's definitely not a troll. I would love to see that happen, man. He's pretty much essentially the Memphis Michael Jordan. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
As soon as he got hired, I immediately went, this is going to change the culture. You know what I'm saying? Not just for Memphis basketball, but for the overall NCAA, because you have a young black coach who's hip, who knows what's up, who his players call him Penny still, you know? And speaking of Penny, Lil Penny is about to make a return. Like, what coach has all these things coming around? And it's just a younger black coach is gonna look at this like, dang, that can be me too. You know, former players going back to their alma maters, you know, giving back to their kids, doing different things for the city. Like, that's what's gonna get them a statue in front of the FedEx Forum. And of course, the wins. But that's coming.
Before Sharky goes, I'm gonna say this. I really want the statue to be of him in a Taylor suit and some phone posits. Because what the man had on the Taylor suit today was some phone posits.
And he was killing them.
And I thought that was the swaggiest thing I've ever seen in my life. Yeah. A coach. Nobody else's coach can say or do that.
Yeah. True. It's the ultimate flex because you basically
right, exactly.
The phones with his shoes at some point, so it's the ultimate flex, man.
You know, Memphis guys got like this the reputation of being the freshest one in the room. And I think it's like I'm gonna be the freshest coach in this thing, and you got it.
Yep,
you got it. That's a good one, Skyler.
Yeah, it's not a troll to me. Also, the same reasons. I mean, especially with the hate on him, I think Penny is gonna be great. Yeah, and like I said, just how he is for this city, he is equivalent to what Michael Jordan is to the world. Because like we was talking about the phone policy, he's still coming out with shoes, so it's not like he be coming new shoes to the media sessions and stuff. So it's that's not trolling at all. Granted, nothing happens. In Titans based stuff, they try to break us down. You know, they're gonna try to bring us down, but there's nothing they can do to bring us down now.
Yeah. I actually have one. And I'm with Scott. I just thought about this one. Of course, earlier while going in on the Grizzlies, we were talking about the deal that I presented for them to trade with Dallas to get Michael Mark. The Mavericks are in a very, very interesting position right now as a franchise. They have the rookie standout and Luka Doncic under his rookie contract at the moment. If they're serious about getting back to being a quote-unquote contender, they're going to have to make some moves and try to basically take a page out of what the NFL teams are doing now when they have these big-time players on their rookie deals. Try to go all in now and try to see what you can get. It maybe entice the guy to stick around past his rookie deal. So my trolling now is I think that because we all know Chris Wallace is not going to do that deal that I mentioned with the Grizzlies. So trolling all, I think Dallas should put a deal in place to try to acquire Blake Griffin.
Blake Griffin?
Yes.
Out of all the players you can name, you name Blake Griffin.
Exactly. No. Here's
they already didn't like each other secretly.
I think that was more so Blake and Chris Paul. I don't think it was Blake and DeAndre. With the Clippers. We all know. Somebody truck going past or something? Anyway, no, we all know that because we all know that whole situation that happened with the Clippers was with Chris Paul and not Blake and DeAndre. Like we all know Chris Paul is a great player but a terrible teammate. We already know that. But the basis of this comes from this. I was just watching highlights of the games that's happened this day, and I saw it was Detroit just finished playing the Pelicans where they actually won the game or whatever. So they were interviewing Blake after the game, and they was applauding for his great game. I think he had like 37 rebounds, 5 assists, something like that. And just his tone, how he was explaining everything, of how the win is masking what is just being a cover up for what's really going on in Detroit. Sounds to me that this guy is not happy there. And of course, he still has that big super contract that he signed when he re-signed with the Clippers. And I'm just going to be frank, Detroit's not going anywhere anytime soon, so they're bound to lose him eventually and Andre Drummond once this deal is up in 2 years. Dallas is in the prime position. You need to get rid of Dennis Smith Jr. You need to get rid of Harrison Barnes. You need to try to build around Luka. Acquiring Blake, because Blake is a decent playmaker at his position, can take some pressure off Luka at times, take some of the ball handling responsibilities off of Luka. And then, of course, the lobs you used to throw to DeAndre can be reignited in Dallas. I'm not saying it'll make them for sure a playoff team again, but it damn near will be close. You can save the prime of Blake Griffin's career. You can do all this with Luka's while he's under his rookie deal and possibly entice him to stay if they do get, if they are successful. In the end, if it doesn't work, of course, you can just blow it all up at the end of or look to trade Blake when he's close towards the end of his deal. So that's my trouble.
You made this seem so simple. I don't
know how, but he did.
Wow. I don't see a reason on earth why Dallas would do that. I think I don't see why they would get bigger from. I think what I would do I think Luka just needs another score, and I don't think Blake Griffin just doesn't do anything for me. He doesn't.
Okay.
I think. Yeah, I just think they can go get a second score. Like, you try to find something for. I think Wesley Matthews comes off their book sometime soon. Harrison Barnes has to be coming off their book sometime soon. I think both of them have like a year or two or something like that. They come off your book. That's a lot of money. You can go get somebody, but Blake Griffin, I wouldn't trade them for Blake Griffin at all.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Didn't mean to say it like rude, but
no,
you ain't
being rude at all.
What you apologize for? It's trolling out.
Yeah, it's trolling out. I was just because I'm looking the whole thing. I'm looking at Dallas's history because they've been prime players in free agency with having cap spaces, but they have always struck out on free agents. So that's one of the reasons. And I mean, for the most part, we've seen that Blake Griffin is having a career year, but it's all going to go to waste because Detroit as a whole is not going anywhere. So my thing was, why not just try to go all in with that deal and just, like I said, try to entice Luka. But I mean, you could wait it out and just try again in free agency and get another score. So hey, I just threw it out there. So I'm not. If it's a troll, it's a troll.
Yeah, I get you. I'm just not a Blake Griffin fan.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool.
I definitely got to go troll. I don't think Blake Griffin, like Skylar said, is the piece that you want to add with. I understand you're trying to get Lob City back in Dallas, but I think that they can definitely use scoring out on the perimeter. You can use a package, like a Bradley Beal or a CJ McCollum. We see what the Blazers are become. We see pretty much what the Blazers are. They're improving, but I don't think they'll ever get past, a team like the Warriors or the Rockets.
I don't think they're improving. I mean,
some people think they're improving. I think they're steadily improving, but we know what they are. You know what I'm
saying? Exactly.
So, I'll give you that. I honestly think they hit their peak last year.
Cool. And, I mean, I think they might have. So, I mean, you're going to have to eventually trade LIII and CJ McCollum to rebuild anyway. So why not start, with a package from Dallas? You know what I'm saying? Because the Mavericks definitely are going to the play. I think they're going to go. Would they go to the playoffs?
The last year in the playoffs was 2012, I believe.
I don't know. What Dallas? Do y'all think Dallas will go to the playoffs this year?
No.
Okay.
No. Not currently constructed.
Not with this current roster. No.
Okay.
And you got the Lakers that's on the outside looking in that's gonna get in. I don't see how. I don't even know who's in the 8th spot now. The Clippers, they're gonna come back down to earth. So I don't see how. I don't see two teams that's already in the playoff position now. I don't see two teams falling out. I do see the Clippers falling out and the Lakers snatching the spot away and then knocking in.
But that's kind of to the point though. So do y'all think that Dallas would want to make a move, seeing how they got two teams on the outside looking in? That'll probably do better than them at the end by the end of the season.
Yep, I think if you found the right trade piece, you would.
If you found the right trade partner, yeah.
Because I think, and two, that's actually when you said, I was like, that's actually not a bad idea. I think if you could flip somehow like DSJ for Dame, that's actually pretty interesting.
Yeah, that is.
I mean, but it is even more interesting because the Blazers are number 4 in the West right now. So would you want to like leave that 4 seed in the playoffs for the Blazers too? You know what I'm saying? I just looked that up. So I don't know.
Gotcha.
The Mavericks are definitely in an interesting spot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's it. But Blake Griffin, I don't know.
No, I don't know. It's a no, bro.
It's
a troll.
Hey,
Blake Griffin is having a great year, but it's not. He's not. That's not. You try to make play. I mean, they might get in the playoffs as AC, but I guess.
I mean, like I said,
what is Dallas trying to do? I guess is the question. Are you trying to become a contender, or are you just trying to get in the playoffs? And even then, they like I said they would still be battling to get in. Not sure if they even make it, but it's just. But Griffin doesn't move the needle to that extent, and he's getting paid way too much for it. Basically, he needs to be moving the needle. If I'm a
Trevor was secretly a Lob City fan.
His fiance.
Actually, no, I wasn't.
His fiance.
Mm-hmm. Right on.
His fiance is a fan of the Pistons, man.
I have to watch a lot of Pistons games, so
yeah. So that's why
I feel sorry for you. I feel sorry for you.
If they're on, I'm watching them. So it's
sorry to hear that. I do have a troll actually.
All right.
Yeah. You say surprise. I always come with a good troll.
He does.
So, like I said early in the show, I believe that Tua is not the quarterback that I believe that Sharky believes he is. Sharky believes that he's a pretty good quarterback who can, I think, potentially be a first overall pick. Am I wrong with that, Sharky?
No.
Okay. So, with that being said, I think the complete opposite. I don't think he's as good as a lot of people think that he is. I don't think he has that it factor. And a lot of games that Alabama won last year was because of Jalen Hurts. With that being said, troll or no, Alabama will not make the championship game next season.
He's a troll.
That's a troll.
I'll see y'all next season, fellas. They traded away not traded away, of course not traded away, but their best quarterback just went to another team.
He's a troll.
Exactly.
The only way that happens is if Alabama doesn't even make the playoff altogether, and I just don't see that.
He just said the only quarterback left. Troll.
Exactly. I'll take Trevor's point even a little further. If they don't have Nick Saban as their head coach next year, that's the only way that doesn't happen.
I think it's about time that Nick Saban had an off year, and I think next year is going to be it.
Okay, good luck with that one, my boy. I've now gotten to the point in my life that I would never pick against Alabama or the Patriots as long as I live. I would never pick against those two.
Year?
Well, that's in the championship game. Yeah. And even still, next year, I probably would still take Alabama because I don't see him losing 2 in a row. But still, I think
that's losing like that.
You sound like a Cowboys fan.
No, the Cowboys don't make it.
They're gonna win next year. If they lose, they're gonna win next year.
I'm saying though, Alabama actually makes it and has won.
Exactly.
You can't compare that to the Cowboys.
Yeah, exactly.
You should say LeBron. That would probably be a better comparison. Because he's
the disrespect.
Yeah.
The disrespect if you compare the Cowboys and Alabama fans. Boy, you're crazy.
I don't want to do too much about LeBron because I already called him like not the best player in the game already this episode, so I don't want to piss too many people off right now. So yeah, y'all can have no problem on this one.
I'll say that's a troll. They'll be back in Tennessee and they'll probably win it.
Yeah.
All right, man. Great episode, y'all. First of the year.
Yes.
Oh man, good episode, fellas.
About to get on this time schedule.
Yes.
About to get on the schedule where we release every Tuesday. Next week will be a week off for the Super Bowl, so we'll be back again.
Go Rams.
Weeks.
Rams.
Also thinking we'll discuss more off air. But possibly doing something for the Super Bowl. Probably like a pregame show, live pregame show, or a postgame show, or something like that. But I keep y'all in tune to listeners on the Facebook group, Let's Be Real group on Facebook, and continue to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Let's Be Real or LBR Sports 901. I meant, or you could search Let's Be Real. You can listen to us on all platforms. Google, Spotify, Google Play, Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, which we're going to do some real big things. YouTube this year with get some video, showing some video of some sort. So stay tuned. Got big things coming this year. Let's Be Real. Remember, we already started 5 now. That's how we will be presented. And I'll just, if we're missing one, I'll say -1. If you got 6, say +1. It was 6 million. We have 5.
Everybody's a star with the team ball. Everybody just remember that. So, hey.
And we gotta give, like I said, give another shout out to the Binge Podcast Network, man. Shout out to the Binge Podcast.
Yeah, go check them out on Facebook, man. So if you are just into podcasts altogether, Binge Podcast Network will probably have something for you, man. So again, shout out to BPN, man. Shout out to Dominic as well.
Yes, sir. And shout out to the other co-owner, Ron Brooks, also for the Binge Podcast Network. So
absolutely.
Good episode, guys. We'll see y'all later.
Peace.